I have returns. So I think we, let's see, let's bring this back over. Let me come back on the number of browser windows I have going on here. There we go. So I think we are almost done with this work on the calendar. We need to do one more recurrence thing. And then I wanted to have a week view in addition to the month view and be able to kind of toggle between them. And probably add some navigation buttons as well to be able to navigate between months and weeks. And then we have a little bit more stuff to do in this part of the UI before we move on to kind of the stream manager thing. So I think we'll see how far we can get into this today, and then a future stream, we'll probably start working on the actual stream manager UI that's kind of embedded but separate from this. Okay, so going back to the code, we have our failure as expected, and we need to implement this, and maybe Copilot will, let's see. Okay, that is definitely wrong. It's an interesting hint, though, of something that may be the right direction. It's talking about using diff to diff between the target date in the planned time zone versus the start date time of the recurrence. Could we do that but use weeks? We do const weeks since start. Maybe even use math.floor like this. I wonder. Yeah, so we use modulo to basically ask, can we evenly divide the weeks since the start of the series by the interval? And if it doesn't divide evenly, we return false. Does this make the test pass? It does. Okay, well, that's interesting. Are there any bugs in this? Is there anything? Obviously, everything else has an interval of 1. So the number of weeks since start would be something that would be evenly divisible by 1. I don't know. I mean, this seems kind of solid. Math.floor, I think, makes sense. So we're taking the non-integer portion off, essentially rounding down. We're truncating to an integer. Is that consistent with the logic that I was explaining before? Where if the series started on the 1st, any recurrence days that were in the first week let's add another test here. So it should return an event if the target date falls on a week that matches the recurrence interval. Is a test. I think we could be more specific here. If the target date is in the first week, okay, so then we have to make this true. So what we're talking about here is we have a series with a start and end date going from the 1st to the 30th. If the recurrence is every Monday, then the first Monday is on the 4th. So we want to ask about the 4th. In the same time zone, makes things simpler. Start date, end date, weekly on Monday. Interval 3 is fine, it's something different. And then what we should expect is that, yes, the 4th at 1800 is right. So does that test pass? Yes. Do all of the tests pass now? Yes. Now, it gets interesting when we start thinking about like other recurrence schemes, like monthly or daily, I guess would be other practical options here. Like between having additional recurrence types and then using the recurrence interval, you have a lot of flexibility. I decided the other day when thinking about the stream that I would, for now, I'm going to stick with weekly and just have this pattern because that's what I really care about for this use case. So this is done. And of course, if you've been watching as I've been tabbing back to the calendar, you see now that yes, our recurring stream plan just shows up on Sunday now. There we go. So if we want to actually see this working, we can make a test item, and we can have it start on the 1st, end never, with no skips. It can recur on Tuesdays and Thursdays every 2 weeks. Time zone probably should be required, actually, as I think about how this is supposed to work. Let's see. So that is controlled in stream plans create. Yeah, I do need a time zone picker, but that's fine. Validate required. Yes. And then I want to do the same thing under edit. Time zone required. I'm not going to save that yet because I'm in the middle of this. If I saved it, it would 2, 9. Save. We would reset the form. Okay. So other things that I'm noticing here, so now we're on the edit view. The edit view should have a way to go back. Let's see, what options do we have here? Actions. Does that do anything? No. I think we have to get rid of some things we don't use anymore. Create a function. No. So what are we going to call this? Stream plans edit actions. You know what's better? Let's go back to the docs. There's an example here, right? Here we go. Yoink. Return. Let's see. We don't have a show view, so I don't care about that. I want to be able to go back to the list view, and I was lacking that option. So let's add those imports, and we use this. That import isn't needed anymore. And then when I go back to the front end, there we have a list button. Okay, so now, moment of truth, we go to calendar. Plan that skips is undefined. Month calendar view. It seems that we need to change the type a little bit. So apparently skips can be undefined. So if plan.skips is not equal to undefined, and then change to an optional change, sure. There we go, beautiful. Question mark dot. All right, and now on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we see this. Except this doesn't seem right, does it? This looks like it's every 2 wasn't it every 3? Oh no, it was 2. No, the test case that we were playing around with before was every 2. Let's change this to 3 and save, and then go to the calendar view. There we go. Every 3 weeks. Okay, cool. So the next thing I'd like to be able to do is I would like to be able to navigate to the next month, the previous month. Can we search? Nice. Look at that. Why would you want to do that? I don't know. But we get it for free, so why not? Okay. What next? I said, but where are we doing that? List actions, maybe? Like if we're on the calendar view, being able to switch back and forth, I would need to add a callback to here. Let me think about that and pull up the relevant UI. So I think it was talking about this briefly at the start. Originally, what I had in mind was have this calendar view that we use. So this is pulling the date from the router that we're looking at. I'm not sure that there's much value in doing this separately instead of doing this here. Let me just use this component directly. Get rid of that. And then this all still continues to work as it has. That's good. And then where does the pagination UI elements appear? We might want to see that. So down there, do I want this to appear down here, or do I want it to appear in actions? So comparing this to here where we have pagination, there's something to be said for having those kind of controls in the same place. We don't see this here because there's only 2 results, but if there were more than 10, there would be like previous and next options here. So it might be nice to be consistent. Let me go back to the React admin docs on controlling pagination for the list view. I think they have pagination components, which we wouldn't want to use. I might want to look at that component though, which is probably in RA UI, Material UI. That's where all of the like UI components for React admin are. Okay, T pagination. There we go. I was right. SRC list pagination. So here's where that component lives. I just want to get a sense of the like underlying UI element they're using. So they're using table pagination, which is probably something from Material UI. So let's take a look at that. Do I have a Material UI tab? Nope. Ooh, table pagination. They have a component demo page. Okay. So this is probably not what I want. There's a bunch of logic mixed in there that I don't really care for. Is there any styling they're doing in this? But component things. So I think I'm just on my own for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to create, let's see, how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? I think whether or not we're looking at a week or a month will be internal state rather than trying to use the router and parameters. So it will by default go to a month view, and you can switch to a week view if you would like bookmark the URL or you navigate around and come back to it. You may end up back on the month view until you switch to the week view. So that's a choice, right? I could do that, or in here, I could have explicit routes for week versus month. Or I could say calendar by default is month, and I could have a week route. If I did that, I would... Could I do here? What if I did this? Ooh, date and then view. Yeah, I actually like that. Thanks, Copilot. And then, so then we just take a view as well, right? And we do the same thing where we're like const view mode is view or month, right? And then if view mode is month, we show that. Do I want to do it this way? Yeah, I like that, because then we can say something like that, or we can have like these like we can just, yeah, I like this. I think what I will do is I'm going to change this to be date. Maybe I'll change params as well. There we go. And so then this is target date. I don't really like that. I wish that I could do what I could do in other languages, which is like to rebind. I've been doing too much Rust. Rebind target date. Let's see, target date raw. Let's rename it. There we go. So this is actually target date, and that's what we'll pass in here. Okay. Cool. And then I guess I want to see this through. As it turns out, I want to just rename everything. Let's see. Rename symbol. There we go. Target date. So the only thing that's now broken is that we don't have a week calendar view. So how is this going to work? Like, I could, of course, just like copy and paste this component and change it around, but I don't want to do that. Like, there's definitely should be some overlap in the logic of month calendar view with week. Right. So the way this works is that we're going off of days and month. So what's different between a month view and a week view from the perspective of this component, right? So the differences are start of month, end of month, days in month, Yeah, and I think everything else just kind of works the same if those are changed, right? So we could be potentially kind of clever here. Maybe we don't need separate components. Like we could just use props here and we could pass view mode in. Potentially. Although, yeah, target date dot start of week is maybe a thing we can do. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So I like this. So the part that's interesting is like this um wait, what does day do? Get the day of the month. Oh, right. Okay. So this is minus start of month that day plus 1. Is that the same? Let's see. Yeah, that looks right. 30 days. Okay, cool. How do we parameterize a translation? Translate, key, and options. Okay, let me go find the React admin docs. Translate. Use translate. There we go. Translation key options. Using pluralization and interpolation. I see. And then we can provide a default as well. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to do something like this. Yeah, resources, stream plans, notifications, no event found for month. For period. Then what I want to say is the period is, yeah. I'm just going to view week or month. View. Yeah. Then provide a default. No events found for the selected period. Actually, we can. There we go. Okay. And then I can be really clever here and I can be like, okay, view instead of month. View. And then start of month, we're going to rename. Start of period. End of month, we're going to rename. End of period. I didn't get it. End of period. Okay, let's see. Rename symbol. Days count in period. Total days in month. Okay, days in period. Okay. So, and what's really nice here is then this just becomes like we don't need this anymore. We don't need any of this. We say view as view mode. And then for the sake of simplicity, I guess this ends up like this. And then there we go. And then since I renamed that, I need to rename this. There we go. That. And then everything is good. And nothing has changed, right? Yeah. So all of that, nothing has changed. But if I were to manually go to 2024 11. Okay, same view, right? And in fact, if I were to go to this slash month, same view. But if I were to go to week, it's broken. All right, great. Any relevant errors? Above error. Okay, let's just do a hard refresh. Any errors? Some warnings. Okay, I don't care about that. All right, so what's wrong now? What did we do wrong? So start of period is the beginning of the week. It's weekday, modulo 7. So we're trying to figure out where the start of the week falls. I think this should be fine. What is wrong? Hold on, let's add some logging here. Console log object dump. Okay, days from previous month and first week. Days in period, days. Okay, so we have all of those numbers, right? First of all, they don't really make sense in the context of showing a week. Let's look at logs. But, you know, we'll figure it out. So days from next month in last week is 7. Okay, it's all wrong. So some of this logic is still relevant because, like, if we're looking, hold on, let's also grab start of period. I need a little bit more information about kind of where things are, where things went off the rails. Like days in period. Okay, good. Days in period should be 7. Right? Days in period negative 24. Start of period. Okay, can we do start of period as something that is a value that I can actually look at? There we go. All right. Start of period is the 28th. End of period. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is the first week of November. Includes some days from October, right? Which is exactly why some of this logic is still relevant. The issue is that days in period being negative 24 seems very, very wrong. Days in period. Oh, this is the day of the month. Wait. Oh, right. Because these are 2 different months. What we actually want to do is we want to do start or end of period diff days dot days plus 1. Okay. Days in period 7.9999. Sure. And now this is very wrong. Should this just be dot days? Right? Days in period. Math dot ceiling. So we get 7. Let's see if we've broken the month view at all. See, this seems fine. Today is the 24th. It is a Sunday. Checks out. All right, back to the week view. The week view is 2 weeks. let me be a little bit more explicit here. Let's say like we're focusing on the first of November. The week of the 1st of November should be this line here, but we're getting 2. And that's because probably this days from next month in last week being 7, this should be 0. Days from next month. Days from next month in last week is 7 minus last day of last week. Last day of last week is... how does this work? Okay, last day of last week. Wait. Are we logging last day of last week? So this is like 14 or something, isn't it? Last day of last week is 0. All right, last day of last week is end of period. Target date, end of week. So that's the 2nd, Saturday. Monday to Sunday. So that would be 6. Okay, if this is 0, the end of period weekday is 7. What are we trying to do here? And why is it different from the week view versus the month view? From next month and last week. 7 minus 0. Days from next month. Okay, so first of all, it should never be 7. Okay, so if last day of last week is 0, then days from next month and last week should be 0. Is there a more understandable way of expressing that concept? Hey, look, this is fixed. And if I go back to the month view, that looks fine too. Looks just fine. And then if I look at the 2nd week, by looking at a day like the 5th, there we go. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Now, TBD on if I want to actually change how this view works. I may end up at some point splitting this. Probably what I'll do is I might take a lot of this and move it into a hook or something, and then make 2 components that reuse the same logic. Or I make a wrapper component that can provide days to its child, or where like one of the props of this view is a component, right, that renders the day, right? And so then I do like grid item, and then this becomes some component that's passed in that I pass day to. Yeah, I could do that to be able to like reuse the logic, but have different, like show like a taller thing for each day on the week view or something like that. All right, well, I guess that works for now and allows me to do the thing that I wanted to do, which is we're gonna get rid of this. You're not going to be happy unless I use this syntax, are you? And then in list actions, I guess I'm going to make this do something. Yeah. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to on next period on prev period. Okay. And then I'm just going to assume that I'm going to make some callback functions called handle next period and handle prev period. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Is that? I guess so. I could be clever here, and I could do something where I did like... This is going to be awful, right? But we could do something like view mode S, and then we wouldn't need the ternary. So week would become weeks, months would become months. But I hate it. Let's not do that. We'll just have some ternaries and some kind of odd logic, some this going on. So stream plans, calendar, next date, prev date, view mode. So we preserve whatever view mode that we're in, but we go to a next date or a previous date relative to the current target date that we get from params. And then we need to implement these. We need to add these props to here, like so. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So if we... I'm going to change this around. So we're going to have null here, right? So we're just going to say if props.view, I guess, yeah, view is fine. If it's lists, we show a button for the calendar. Another bot. By bot. All right. But if we're on the calendar view, we show a button to take us back to the list. This is unnecessary. Just need a list button. But more. But wait, there's more. We also want to do something. We definitely don't want to do that. I guess we could. Huh. Actually, okay. So what Copilot wrote are functions to generate the URLs to next and previous. I guess I don't strictly need to... How do I want to do this? What we can do... So the question is, like, I can move the actual sending the user to a different page here, or I can move it into list actions. If I move it into list actions, then all I really need to pass into list action are the URLs for next and previous. Yeah, we'll keep this simpler. So the handlers go away. We don't need that anymore. We say const. This is next date URL, and then get rid of this. Const prev date URL. Okay. And then next date URL, previous date URL. And it's not happy because of course those props don't exist, but prev date URL question mark next date URL. So then I have a button, and the button goes to props.nextDate URL. Yeah. Oh yes, must be self-closing. So we have next and previous. Probably want previous and then next. Yeah. How do we button? Component link to URL. Label. Oh, right. It needs a child. Let's see. Yeah, I could make a previous icon. Let's actually go to React Admin. There might be a component. Buttons. Nope. Okay. Material UI. Icons. There we go. Previous. I guess arrow left and arrow right. There we go. Yeah, at least that will make that happy. And then if we go back to the front end, we have previous and next. I think they're backwards though. Yep. There we go. So next. There we go. There's today. And then we're on December. Yeah, there you go. And it has the date in the URL. There's the new year. And then if we need a way to switch the view as well. I mean, at this point, do I even want this logic to live in Stream Plans calendar versus in list actions? No, I do need that. What are we complaining about in this file then? Let me see. Nothing. All right. Like I might also use params instead of list actions. Then no, because then I had to re-implement like this and this. So I don't want to do that. In that case, do I want to just pass into list actions like links for the week and month view? Like that. Is this the best way of doing this? I don't know. But it's what I'm going to do. So now we have week and month. This. That's all there. Okay. So this, if I click this, it takes me to a month view of March. Focused on the 18th still. And I go to the week view, it's the 18th, and it's the week view. And then I can toggle back and forth. So I think if I want to be clever, what I do is I say I only supply the week view URL if the view mode is month. And then I do the same thing over here, but in the opposite direction. All right, and then I end up with the toggle, right? So I can go to month or week. Beautiful. All right, awesome. Let's see. So this repo, so many repos. Glowing Telegram front end. Did I set up branch protection and stuff? Can I think I will probably just want to create a commit of the work so far to push up, and then we can start looking at. No, that's not accurate at all. What did we actually change here? So we've added week and month views. Minor changes here. Minor changes. But the big thing is, yeah, the stream plans calendar view. Add stream plans calendar view. Talking? Yeah, go ahead and commit anyway. I think I can still push directly to main on this repo. I've not locked that down yet. All right, so in Glowing Telegram front end, I see. Keyboard's in a different mode. It's like I thought I hit Control R, but yeah, wrong mode. All right, so there we go. Now what? Let's see. So we did this, and that kind of wraps up that portion of things. So next up is going to be maybe or just use browser system. Yeah, some kind of user profile and some kind of authentication. I was thinking it would be really cool to use Cognito, AWS Cognito, and have some kind of web authn, aka ASCII authentication for this, which is something it is about time I do for Glowing Telegram anyway. So that will probably be a next thing. I may, between now and next coding stream, whenever that is, or maybe the next coding stream might be like setting up stuff for the back end to support this, and playing around with the front end. So we'll see. And then the stream manager stuff, and then there's a lot more ideas that I had to kind of think about taking this forward from there. And eventually, ultimately, the goal is that this will become like all the stuff that I've written in the front end for Glowing Telegram, in terms of like the admin UI for it, will migrate into this, as well as the video editor component, all into this, or potentially like this will stay here, but I will use this component. Like this will probably get published to npm and use it in here. So that's the kind of the where this is going. But for now, I think it's time for us to kick off a raid. So I do want to say thanks so much, everyone, for coming out to the stream today. It's great to have you all here hanging out. And let's figure out who we're going to raid.